At this point, you should have completed the assembly of the upper receiver, the barrel, and the lower receiver. The tools that you will need to assemble the telescoping buttstock are the lower receiver vise block, a buttstock tool, a prick punch, and a 4-ounce ball peen hammer. First, put your lower receiver vise block in the vise and mount your lower receiver onto it with the rear facing you. Now thread the receiver extension nut onto the receiver extension with the cuts in the nut facing to the rear. Place the receiver end plate on the receiver extension with the dimple facing forward. Start threading the receiver extension tube into the back of the receiver, but stop just before the threaded portion of the tube covers up the buffer retainer hole. Insert the buffer retainer spring and the buffer retainer into the hole and hold it down with your thumb. Screw in the receiver extension until it captures the buffer retainer on its shoulder. Insert the takedown pin into the receiver from the right-hand side with the cut in the pin facing to the rear of the rifle. Insert the takedown pin detent first with a rounded end facing forward, then the detent spring into the port on the back of the receiver. The spring should stick out about 1/2 inch. Align the dimple of the end plate with the hole in the back of the receiver. Now to do this, you may have to turn the receiver extension a bit. The extension plate aligns the extension tube with the receiver and captures the takedown detent spring and plunger. Once everything is aligned, push down on the end plate, making sure you don't kink the takedown pin spring, and hand tighten the extension nut against the end plate. Using your buttstock tool, tighten the nut down until it's snug. The proper torque is 40 inch-pounds. Use your prick punch to stake your end plate in 2 areas, slightly swaging material into the lock nut. Some lock nuts have recessed areas for these staking positions. Insert your action spring and buffer assembly into the receiver extension. It will be captured by the buffer retainer. Next, install the buttstock onto the lower receiver extension by pulling straight down on the release lever so that the lock pin completely clears the inside of the buttstock, and slide the buttstock onto the receiver extension. Test your telescoping buttstock by sliding it back and forth by gripping the release lever. Test your takedown pin by pushing it in and out. The detent should lock the pin in and out, and it will take some extra pressure to make the pin move from fully closed to fully open. The takedown pin should not rotate. You've now completed installing the telescoping buttstock. In the next segment, we'll put the 2 halves of your rifle together and do some bench testing.